Be careful. He's an isolator. He'll try to move you away from your family and your friends. Get you all by yourself so that he can control you, control the bag, who you talk to, where you go. He's an abuser.
Well, folks, I already did a video about Leslie back in season 1, warning Andi about Gary being a manipulator, a user, playing her, interacting with other women aside from just her, yet she still decided to pursue Gary anyway. Now, going back to season 1, this time we're talking about Jasmine. And no, this will not be a video where I'm simping over Jasmine. I'm only providing the facts. Jasmine, episode 24, I believe, the penultimate episode, where she was in the hospital after being tossed off the top of a parking garage by Gary, which, in my opinion, was self-defense, and he did not mean to do it. In the hospital, she told Andi, he's a manipulator. He isolates you. He controls you. He controls the bag. He keeps you away from your friends, from your family. He makes sure you never leave. He makes sure that he, controls you in terms of where you even go. This pretty much solidified in terms of how Gary operates. This is most likely how he is able to prevent one woman from meeting the other. Hence why his 3-year relationship with Penelope went completely under the radar. Jasmine didn't know about Penelope. Penelope didn't know about his wife, Jasmine. One can make the argument as to whether or not he and Jasmine were technically really married, because it's like, think about season 3, where he wanted to marry Andi on the spot in a surprise wedding. Was that a legal official who can actually marry them? Does he have other wives? I mean, we joked about Bio being an African prince, and he even lied about having multiple wives and whatnot. But for all we know, Gary has quote unquote wives around the entire city. We don't know that. But regardless, if you go back to season 1, episode 12, when in the conference boardroom of the law firm, it was Leslie, Jasmine, and Andi. And Jasmine at this point knew that Andi was having the affair, and she confronted her about everything. Like, how did her and Gary meet? And basically she went over the full story about how she was, in like a store. She was dressed down, wearing bunny slippers and all. And Gary approached her and complimented her. It was like, man, if only I wasn't married. And then 2 weeks later, Andi, in like her full bam, bam, bam attire, just made Gary turn his head. And then from there, they started talking. And then she basically talked about how Gary said, I love my family. And then he went, his mom. And then before Andi could even continue, Jasmine cut her off by saying exactly like, what his next words were. Is like, oh, I do a lot of humanitarian work. And, and just basically she verbatim, just like He Who Remains in Loki, read the script for how it was written. And then she said modus operandi or operandi. And at first I thought this was a woman's name, because because Leslie said, yep, told her the same thing. And I'm like, wait. So I had to Google it, and I'm like, that's a weird name for a person. But no, it's actually a Latin phrase, which means a particular way or method of doing something, especially one that is characteristic or well established, aka the way in which something operates or works. So basically, this quote unquote script that Gary laid out for Jasmine was exactly what this script that he laid out for Andi was the same one he used on Jasmine. But then she quickly said, well, the only difference is he wasn't married. For all Jasmine knows, Gary probably had another wife somewhere in Atlanta or across the country. But regardless, she did pull out that one earring from her purse, stating she's found an earring in her bed. That could have been Penelope's or another woman, but it wasn't Andi's because she said she's never been over to the house. So, regardless, Jasmine warned her that in terms of Gary's behavior, he will basically keep you like a bottle ship. You know how you people have those little miniature models of boats or ships in a bottle? That's literally what Gary does to women. So to my knowledge, I don't believe Jasmine knew about any other affair outside of Andi. But if you combined what Jasmine told Andi about the way Gary operates and put it side by side with Leslie's, research that he's been messing around with other women, Andi had all the elements to go, you know what, this dude, if he cheated on his wife with me and Leslie showed me these photos of these other women, then even after the divorce and whatnot, he's probably got all these other women out there I don't even know about. So I need to stay away from him. So despite the friction between the two, because remember, originally Leslie was like, no, Miss Borders, you and Miss Barnes, y'all need to work together to bring him down. But she wanted no part of this because I do believe that in terms of like Jasmine, Morris, and Bellamy and their scheming, Andi had to take the fall with Gary. So it wasn't like Andi can get out of this scot-free. So really, Jasmine warned her ass. Then in season 2, she tried to beat and kill her ass. But hey, to be fair, Jasmine, she tried. Failed to warn Andi, but she tried. And now Andi is dealing with the karma of her stupidity. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.